I work for the University of New South Wales and I'm the Director of the Centre for Ecosystem Science. And look, I'm always been interested in conservation since I was about 6, and when my grandmother used to take me bird watching. And I guess I've always lived in the country and I started to think about the sort of problems that we've got, and I worked for the National Parks and Wildlife Service for nearly 20 years, and that really exposed me to, the big challenges in terms of conservation. Look, I think we've got many. I guess the things that I generally break it down into are sort of habitat loss and degradation, which occurs in marine, freshwater and terrestrial ecosystems. That's the big one. Climate change, obviously, and how that impacts on that. Pollution is a big issue. Invasive species. And over-harvesting is another one. And I guess the last one that's sort of coming in relatively recently is disease, where we see, the fragmentation of different populations of species, and you're increasingly seeing wildlife diseases as a major conservation issue. And I think, the question is, what are the solutions to those? And there are many, and I think we've got great opportunities. I'm working on rivers, and one of the river systems I work on is the Macquarie, which goes out into this fantastic wetland called the Macquarie Marshes. And one of the things we're really interested in doing here is stopping the degradation there. And so we're measuring invertebrates and frogs and river red gums and water birds, and seeing over long periods of time how they respond to flows and flooding. And now the government's brought back a whole lot of water for these rivers, and particularly the Macquarie. And the big challenge is, how does it manage that? It's maybe got $50 million worth of water to manage each year, and which sorts of organisms do you manage for, and what are the short-term decisions and the long-term decisions, and that's very exciting.